Hello there everyone, I hope you're doing well. So in today's video I wanted to talk about the Lightwhip, which is a really unique and in my opinion cool lightsaber variant. Now whips generally aren't a great weapon when it comes to one-on-one combat. However, there's one big advantage that the Lightwhip has that normal lightsabers don't have. I discovered this while reading Darth Bane, Path of Destruction. In the novel, Darth Bane and one of his masters have a conversation about lightwhips. I thought that it was pretty insightful and made the Lightwhip make more sense to me. So I wanted to make a video where I go over their conversation. Now, before I go over the conversation in the novel, I want to clearly define and explain what a light whip is and talk about a few of the flaws and drawbacks. A light whip is quite simply a lightsaber that doesn't have a rigid blade like a normal lightsaber. Instead, the energy tendril is flexible and can be used to entangle or cut. It normally had one energy tendril, but occasionally it contained multiple. They contained multiple small crystals, whereas many normal lightsabers only contained a singular crystal. One of the drawbacks of a light whip is that it has essentially no defense. You can only attack with it. Another drawback is that it's just as dangerous to the user as it is to the opponent. Only an incredibly skilled user was able to use it and remain unscathed. Another big issue with the light whip is that they tended to have weaker blades than regular lightsabers. Due to the thinness of the light whip's blade, the blades were generally less effective at cutting. Those three reasons alone were why both Jedi and Sith rarely use this lightsaber variant. Okay, so with all that being said, what is the main advantage of this weapon? That all brings us back to the Darth Bane novel that I talked about earlier. In the novel, we are introduced to a Sith in training named Githani. She's a really cool character and wielded a light whip as well as a regular lightsaber. She was a temporary ally of Bane's in the novel. I'll get back to her in a bit. So while Darth Bane was training to become a Sith, he got into a conversation with the Twi'lek battlemaster, Qasim. Qasim and Bane were discussing the double-bladed lightsaber and the advantages that it had. Bane believed that the double-bladed lightsaber gave the user more options when it came to striking. Qasim explained that they don't actually have a ton of advantages like most people think. You see, most lightsaber users are used to fighting an opponent with a single blade. When a lightsaber duelist has to fight an opponent with a double blade, they don't know how to fight one and become mentally psyched out. Bane then went on to compare this to the light whip that Githani used. Qasim explained that despite all of the light whip's flaws, it's so rare that no one ever practices against it. It confuses the enemy, giving the user of the light whip a leg up. So in a weird way, Qasim explained that the rarity and flaws of the light whip are what give it an advantage. Opponents have no idea how to fight against it. So while it isn't a better weapon, its advantage makes it seem like one. I think this is really cool, and I remember liking the light whip even more when I read this. I also think that when characters are given a light whip, it can tell us more about them as a character. Let me explain. Physically imposing characters like Vader or Malgus don't get light whips. It's the crafty, manipulative characters like Lumia, a Dark Lady of the Sith, and Githani that I mentioned earlier. In the Path of Destruction novel, she's constantly toying and manipulating everyone and everything around her, which is why the light whip is a perfect weapon for her. So that is the in-universe advantage that light whips have. What do you guys think? Do you agree with Qasim? Do you disagree? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Please be respectful in the comments section, and I hope you all have an amazing day. May the Force be with you.